Hello and welcome to another audio commentary for Series 1 of Parallel. So this is episode 4. I really wanted to give the idea of this idea of the curfew. I wanted to keep the continuity of what was happening in those two parts with the Cybermen.
Are you okay? What is it?
None of this is really filmed very well. This is of course the ending of part 1 of series 1. I did that because I went to uni. Quite a similar shot there of him walking in as the start of episode 3 actually, I've only just noticed that. I love doing the Doctor in his pyjamas. I don't know why I made that figure, because obviously he wore pyjamas in the Christmas Invasion. I just quite like the idea of him wearing them. It just gives him more of an idea that he's in a real house, he's living on Earth.
That sounds like a job for the police, not us.
Yes, but there have already been reports to say that the person who died...
This script was written before I had any idea what I was going to do with part 2, because I knew I wanted the cliffhanger to end part 1 of the series. So part 2 of the story that opened the part 2 of the series wasn't written. If I could go back again and do this, I would definitely write the script for both parts, so I could have more story, more stuff to do with the government in part 1, to make it did not come out of nowhere when it comes to part 2. But I'll talk more about part 2 obviously when we get there. And of course I really wanted to show the Doctor's half-human side by his anger, which really comes out at the end of part 2. And the Return of the Cybermen was something I really wanted to do because of that's my sister, by the way, one of the only extra voices in the series. What was I saying? Yeah, I brought Cybermen in because they were so important for the parallel universe, and I really wanted to do this one story that involved the Cybermen. I did have the idea of using the Mondasian Cyberman way before they were coming back in Doctor Who Series 10. It just happened to fall at about the same time. But mostly because I got the Mondasian Cybermen for that Christmas, the Christmas after this was made, because of course I made this in the end of 2016, and then I went to uni, and then I made Series 1 Part 2 at Christmas.
Well, we know the person didn't die here. The blood is only on the body. So where did the person die?
This is terrible green screen as always. Much better at doing the green screen now, but I do limit the amount of green screen I do. I did more green screen when I couldn't do it, and less now that I can't. But now that I can, which is a bit silly.
We don't know what we're facing. Anyway, I think we should go at the time the person died.
So about 11 o'clock then?
This was a way, because I didn't have a little storyline, this was sort of a way to either build up tension as to what the metal is, and a sort of a cheat into making the story last longer for the characters, which isn't really very good storytelling. So I'm not the biggest fan of this story, really. I could have done a lot better with it in hindsight. I do, however, really like this scene. This is for the overall storyline, and I really like this shot of the folders, just because I like animating, like I've said before with the kettle, I like animating everyday actions, and this really is one.
Where's what? No, nothing, just looking. I don't like this place. Too old-fashioned, so computer these days. What are you doing here anyway, Doctor? You are
And I really wanted all the extra rooms other than the lab to have the same walls, to give an idea that Torchwood is really set into just these very small rooms all in a row, very uniform and corporate, which is what I think Torchwood is compared to Unit.
Professor, what you doing? Nothing.
Of course, that's me continuing the idea of what was happening at the end of episode 3 with the Professor. That's him writing an email or a CV or something. I don't really know actually. Oh, and by this point, as you can see, I've used the top of the Arc computers as the computer screens, because it definitely made a lot more of a just made it look better than the little paper ones I had before.
likely place to find our killer.
This is of course the street I made for 221B for my Sherlock animation. As you can see, 221B over there. And this was also before I had any more soldier figures as well. That's why they are just 3 random figures wearing military enough clothing. And of course they're holding Lego lightsabers as well as torches. I spent ages making this sewer because I knew it was a really it was going to be used as a recurring set for this 2 episodes, so I really needed to make it look good. But the majority of this episode is actually set in the sewers, so I don't have it anymore, which is a shame. I wish I kept it now, but I did actually get rid of it. Oh, and this is of course when I discovered how to do echo as well, so I really got a chance to echo their voices, which I like.
I think we should probably split up. I don't think that's a good plan. We don't even know what happened to the others.
It's alright, Doctor. I'll stay with Claire. You go on your own.
It's alright, Doctor. You go off on your own and get killed.
Be careful. You don't know what could be down here.
I do sometimes look back at this and regret everyone's voice being me. Mostly with Bill, because Bill's voice is so similar to the Doctor's. But what can you do? I don't know whether or not Bill will return anymore. Because that was just a video rather than animating. I do gotta say I do really like the lighting for these sewers. It's something I am quite proud of actually. So this story is really short compared to other stories. There's not a lot going on actually. The runtime of these stories is very different to each other. There you go. And it's either Earth or Mondas because of the Mondasian Cyberman, as well as these Cybermen, which is what the Mondasian Cyberman has resurrected. So origin is both. And that's the end of the episode. To be continued in 2017, like I said before. So stick around for part 2. Your commentary for that will be coming soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.